Good evening, everyone. How is everybody doing? Wanted to stop by for just a moment and kind of give an update of our COVID-19 journey. I guess that's what you'd want to call it, our COVID-19 journey. So anyway, I'm doing okay. Uh, Still no temperature. Just a little heaviness in my chest. I got that cough that I just can't get rid of, but I've been about the same. Uh, and my, Dallas is doing the same. Hadn't really changed any. Uh, Pastor Tammy, on the other hand, she's doing the same, but she's not feeling good. Uh, a The cough, the congestion in her head moves back and forth from her head to the chest. She can't taste nothing, which uh, surprisingly, you would not believe or think that not being able to taste your food would be that important, but evidently it is. Uh, she is. She doesn't know what to eat because she can't taste nothing. If it's really hot, she can feel the heat. Uh, or if it's kind of bitter or something like that, she can tell that. But other than that, she doesn't. She doesn't taste anything. So everything is. If you're stopping by, stop by. Drop us a line. Let us know that you're watching. Uh, and uh, we'll be happy that if you do stop by. I did want to go over do our typical Tuesday night. I kind of lost track of days and nights and with this, but we're going to do our Bible study tonight. I figured I'd go ahead and do that and just continue on with doing that. And continue on with doing some Bible studies or so forth and so on. Last night I just didn't feel up to it, um, but I want to go ahead and do that tonight. So we're going to. My son is saying the same thing. Yeah, yeah. I'll be happy. We're here in Florida. We're praying for you. Thank you, Cheryl, for keeping us in prayer. Um, and we love all of y'all. Everybody that pops on and says something. I love y'all. Y'all. We keep all y'all in prayer. We follow everybody. We watch everybody's posts and everything like that. And so anyway, go ahead and we've been talking about the studies of the seven seals, and then we had moved in from the seven seals to the trumpets, and we've actually walked through all of the trumpets, one to six. Um, we haven't done the seventh one yet, but if you get in Revelations and you begin to read, you'll see that there are stuff that happens between the sixth trumpet and the seventh trumpet, and so we didn't want to just jump right to the seventh trumpet without talking about the rest of this stuff and just kind of shedding some light on it. So that's kind of what I wanted to do. And yes, I have my I guess you would say famous slideshow. Uh, I'm going to share that with you. I mean, it's it's right there. I can make it bigger. Um, I kind of like this because then I can see myself. Um, but our one of the ladies in our church, Sister Ashley, said that it needs to be bigger in case you're using your phone or something, that you could watch it from your phone and be able to read it. So that's what I'm going to do. Uh, so anyway, let me get my slides set up here. Slideshow in the beginning. And I don't have that many. Wait a minute. I just took my, I can't see myself. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Hold on just a second. Yeah, sometimes this thing is aggravating to get set up. All right, here we go. Revelations part 5. And we had talked about the mighty angel, and we're going to talk tonight about the mighty angel and John eating the scroll. That's what we're going to just work on tonight and discuss and talk about. So anyway, Revelations part 5, Revelation chapter 10 actually, and verse 1. And there's only just a few verses in this. But in verse 1, it says, I saw still another mighty angel coming down from heaven, clothed with a cloud, and a rainbow was on his head. His face was like the sun, and his feet like pillars of fire. Now, I know if you read this, and I'm going to pull some scriptures just to do some comparison, but I want to look at coming down from heaven. So this mighty angel was coming down from heaven. The coming down from heaven actually speaks of his authority. All authority in heaven and in earth. And in Matthew 28:18 says, and Jesus came and spoke to them, saying, all authority has been given to me in heaven and on earth. So there is some authority that he is walking with. I'm not going to say that it's the authority of Jesus Christ, as if Jesus is the mighty angel. I'm not going to say that, but he obviously is walking with some authority that has been given to him, because he's coming from heaven, of course. So that would be the reason why. Clothed with a cloud. Also, this symbolizes his majesty, but I'm not so sure that it's the majesty that you would think, because I believe that every angel in heaven has a certain of holiness that they walk in, and I believe that if an angel is coming in to do something for God, I believe that he walks with a certain honor and righteousness on him. But a cloud is also associated with the glory, with the Lord of glory. And I get that from Exodus 13:21. It says in Exodus 13:21, and the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of cloud to lead the way. So that was the presence of God leading the children of Israel by day in a pillar of cloud. So there is something to being clothed with a cloud. Also, let's look at rainbow was on his head. Now, anybody that knows anything about scripture knows exactly where the rainbow comes into play. That speaks of his covenant, which is in Genesis 9:13. I set my rainbow in the cloud, and it shall be for the sign of the covenant between me and the earth. So again, this is a covenant between God and man. But this is what this angel, he's coming down from heaven. He's clothed with the cloud, and he has a rainbow on his head. Now, it also in Revelations 4:3 talks about it being around the heavenly throne. It says, and he who sat there was like a jasper and sardius stone in appearance, and there was a rainbow around the throne in appearance like an emerald. So there was a rainbow around the throne of God. That's in Revelations 4:3. Now, moving on, it says his face was like the sun. Well, in Revelations 1:16, it says, and he had in his right hand 7 stars, and out of his mouth went a sharp 2-edged sword, and his countenance was like the sun shining in its strength. So this angel was coming from heaven, clothed with a cloud, and he had rainbow on his head, and his face was like the sun. And then the last part it says, and his feet was like pillars of fire. Uh, so talking about that, also in Matthew 17:2, it says he was transfigured before them. His face shone like the sun, and his clothes became as white as the light. So there's some similarities there with this angel, and some significant similarities with Jesus Christ. Now, going on to the pillars of fire, his feet were as pillars of fire. It's a symbol of God's presence. In Revelation 1:15, his feet was like fine brass, because in Revelation 1:15, this is a revelation of Jesus Christ. This is what John it was being revealed to him at the very beginning of this book. His feet was like fine brass, and it's refined in furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. Now, we're going to come back and use that scripture at a later date, but let's look at Exodus 13:21 says, and the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of cloud to lead the way. If you remember, we just said that. And by night in a pillar of fire to give them light, so as to go by day and night. So the cloud and the pillar of light was a symbol of God's presence. But I do not believe that this was Jesus Christ. It could appear that this is Jesus, but I don't believe it's that it is Jesus. And I'll get to that here shortly, because this actually is not a very long little study here, so we're not going to be here that long. So if you can't hang on with me, that's okay. You can come back later and watch it. So moving on to verse 2, it says he had a little book open in his hand, and he set his right foot on the sea and his left foot on the land. Now, I'm not going to say anything about the little black book, because it doesn't give me anything at this moment. Actually, it doesn't give me anything at all in this in this passages about what is in the black book. It's actually a secret, and you'll see that here shortly of what's in it. But he set his right foot on the sea and his left foot on the land. Now let's look at that real quick. His feet are placed upon the earth. Now there's some things that I want to look at here. This speaks of him taking possession of the land and of sea, triumph and possession. Because in Psalms 24:1, Leviticus 25:23, Psalms 8:6 and 8, and Joshua 1 and 3, I got scriptures all, and we're going to go over them, each one of them. So just hold with me. But when he places his foot on the sea, and then he places his foot on the land, if in fact this is a taking of possession, a triumph in possession, then he has covered everything. The sea, the land. This world is made up of water and land. That's it. There's no other options. So let's look at Psalms 24:1 and see what that says. The earth is the Lord's and all its fullness, the world and those who dwell therein. So understand that the world, has always been God. I've spoke on that the last few times that I've been on here. It's always been God. But who's in control at this moment, who is trying to rule at this moment, is a different opinion. But at the end, the earth is the Lord's. Now let's look at the next verse that I had jotted down. Leviticus 25:23 says, the land shall not be sold permanently, for the land is mine. For you are strangers and sojourners with me. This is what God told Moses. God was speaking to Moses, and Moses is then reiterating this to the children of Israel. So God told Moses, this land shall not be sold permanent. So all this land will not be sold permanent. It is God's. Are you okay, baby? What? Listen, y'all, I got to cut this short. My wife needs me. I will. I'll try to come back on here and talk to y'all. But I got to go. God bless y'all. Keep us in prayer.